All right, hello everybody. This is Rael.
And Hathor segment L.
Okay, and today we decided to talk about the topic of Kanye West and his rant and his topic about us choice, slavery being a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, has put out a new video that has spoken volumes to people, way more than the rants that Kanye has been doing. We don't know if it's a publicity stunt, but we do know that this was dealing with some type of spell casting to the collective.
So a lot of people was like, "Oh, Kanye West, he's a genius. Oh my goodness, he put out something so dumb that how can you ignore him?" Because that was with the first album of Lift Yourself. And then he has the video about Kanye West versus the people, right? Ye versus the people, all right? And then he also, the latest thing, his rant was about slavery being a choice, which it sparked a whole controversy about this choice.
And I think it was misunderstood, really.
All right. So how I kind of look at it is that when you look at how television, how movies is used to cast or broadcast a signal, broadcast something that we all pick up and retrieve when we watch it on TV. Some of us we take on the attributes, we try to become it. And so what I felt that Kanye West did, and him working alongside with Trump, and he was working along with Trump. I don't want to put it out there in any kind of negative way, but he is doing wizardry and spell work. And so he put out the question that slavery was a choice, right? And we all damn well know, based on history, based on everything we know, right, that slaves were beating, they were shot, there was a slave patrol. We know that there was a lot of restrictions, there was a lot of borders that was placed around us, kidnapping, everything, any kind of slavery. We know there's been all this research that tells us that this shit didn't happen, right?
I wrote a post about it that yes, okay, it was transpired over 400 something years. This was all mental. It was definitely first mental, but it was also physical too. And you had to be aware. I'm sure these people, the first slaves that were brought over, I'm sure they were aware of slavery. This isn't right. But what about the children and the children's children and children after that? They weren't aware always that was how it was, that they were actually free once upon a time and they lived in Africa and all these other things has happened for them. So it may have taken them a while to really wake up, and by then everything was rolling into the process.
And so that's what we know, is that people were born into bondage. This is all facts. This is stuff that every scholar has spoken of. All right, everyone, anyone you can think of, is Kanye West didn't say no genius shit about that. All right, that's why it sparked so much controversy. To even the folks on the street is like, Kanye, you're stupid. All right, but what I want people to really consider is, in this time, day and age, we do have to make a choice. Right, that's what's going on, and just to kind of back that statement, is that when we understand astrology and what's going on, and you have to understand Trump, he is a sorcerer. Some of the moves and some of the things that he's done, he's placed on specific days so that we would be most energetically ready to talk about something, or a day where Kanye West will speak something. And I think if he did that on the 2nd, right?
I think it was May 2nd. I think he's done a lot of things that correlate to different times,
to different times. So they're working numerology, and even in Kanye rant, Kanye was talking about Jay-Z and his relationship, and he was like, Jay-Z is speaking codes. I don't know that they don't realize that they're getting codes. All right, so those codes is sorcery. That is something that they're putting out there that is meant to stir your mind and to make you come up where you have to make a choice. So now we're at a point where on May 15th, Uranus will enter Taurus, right? And it's going to be there for 7 years, right? So this is where the tides are changing. Uranus deals with revolution. It's the liberator. It's the awakener. It's the planet that brings about sudden changes. And Taurus deals with material, matter, right? Taurus deals with the earth, right? And so right now we are all moving up into a greater frequency, where since Uranus, the planet, is supporting us, right? where the thing is, all that we have to do is make a choice.
But check this out. What I see, what yesterday it came out that, well, kind of like going into probably like around midnight. Childish Gambino dropped his video, right? That was almost on part of a portal day. The portal day just happened. May 5th, 5/5, which is portal dates are concentrated energy, high energy on certain days, where it's good for manifesting, good for putting things out, good for beginnings and making decisions of things. So you see, he put that out. So he's doing some type of sorcery himself. But what Childish Gambino did is that he neutralized things, that where Kanye West came in with his spellbinding of duality, of the house even splitting, like boyfriend and girlfriend, mother and daughter, or whatever. It was still some type of topic of debate where people were like, hey, I understand Kanye. No, I don't. He's a dumbass. Oh, yeah, he's a genius. It was something that was causing some type of duality. And it was the way Kanye West knew the way he said it.
Believe me, when Kanye West came out with that statement about racism, I bet you all across America, people were fighting in the households, right? And so they put that statement out. And when you understand that the planets Mars and Pluto, all these planets, Capricorn, fiery type planets, Capricorn is a fighter type planet, right? All right, if you know Capricorn, they like to fight. So they're working the sorcery out, that when they're putting these news feeds out, right, they're feeding the pulse of reality. So on certain days, the algorithms of how we are is up. Some people may be up, right? And some people may be down. So on some days when it's hot, you'll see something. The killings up. When it's cold, killings are down. Right? When it's raining, killings are down. Killings are down. But when things are up, all right, people are more active. People are out. So this is the greatest time to spark the debate about racism, bring up an old issue. And the thing is that every time we keep reflecting back on this old issue without a solution, we go back in time and live there for that moment where people are mad as hell for those 2 to 3 days, talking about it was not a choice, even though we know it was not a choice for a lot of people.
So let's get into the video, because I done watched this video like I don't know how many times, and there's many things that are being shown, and I keep on looking at it, and I'm seeing stuff, and I'm reading, and I'm seeing other people saying it. Hey, I really feel like the video is speaking so many truths, but
a lot of angles.
It's so many angles. Like, okay, so when he first comes out, I'm looking at him like, he kind of look like Frederick Douglass. He's looking like a slave.
He look like a slave.
A dressed up slave. And it's like a show. And he's dancing the whole time and all this, I guess, this chaos. So, but he's the same thing. I showed this to my sons, and I feel like they should see this. Because we're an open family to discuss stuff like this. And my one son said that he feels like Childish Gambino is invisible, that nobody sees him doing these things. And he was just like, I think he's invisible. So we had to go back and look at it, and we like, he might be invisible because he's doing all these acts.
He's singing and dancing. While everybody's going crazy, you got this man singing and dancing, and he's even the one pulling the trigger.
And nobody's seeing him. So we were saying that how he killed the musician. And then I said that he kind of looked like the guy that he executed in the first part. I said he kind of looked like the Africans, how the Africans are dressed when they're going over to Israel, and they're going over there and they're becoming slaves, and they're beating them, they're doing stuff. I kind of felt like that was that. Rael said he feels like what?
Well, see, the same thing that I see that's being pumped is Kronos and his children.
No, with the artist.
Just let me.
Oh, okay, go ahead, go.
Please. All right, and so the same thing that I'm seeing, all right, is that if you watch the movie Infinity Avengers, they have Thanos, all right, and he has his children who does his bidding. And so as you see Childish Gambino going about and he's executing and doing all these things, the whole time you see him dancing with these children, right? And so this whole figure is almost like invisible, and it's the same theme. Even when you look at what's his name, J. Cole. J. Cole, you see the king. He's in the clouds. He's flying in the clouds.
What's the song of that video?
It's ATM. Okay. ATM by J. Cole. All right, and so you see J. Cole. He's in the air and he's flying as the king. All right, in the higher realms, and he has his children behind him. So if you see the theme again, you see these children with this man, or following this man, or dancing with this man. All right, and so what they're saying is that this man is actually going around and he's actually bringing about judgment. And so when we look at the movie, I mean not the movie, but the video with Childish Gambino, there were a lot of things where you can see that this person was going about bringing about execution. And to see the church even being executed, it lets you know that some old traditions need to die. So new things can be birthed forth, and some people can because when you think about his whole video is really about liberation and chaos. That whole Uranus energy, that chaotic energy, that energy that's going to go crazy. And towards the ending, you can see him. He's in the middle. He's on a red car. He's grounded, meaning that he's in his vehicle. He's in his purpose. And you have Lady Liberty. She's in her vehicle and her purpose too.
And at that part, when he's on the car, they say that part is get your money, and he's talking about reparations, and it's almost like he is free. And then they were saying that I looked on SZA's account, and they were saying that she was actually supposed to be Lady Liberty. And if you see her with her hair, it's like she has the little crown on her head, but it's made out of her hair. So it's a lot of symbolism in it. I don't know. Y'all can take y'all hand at it and really break it down. But I know it's actually speaking more than, hey, you got a choice.
It's a huge statement.
It's a statement that he's just saying, he's showing what I guess white America knows about and is blind to. I was talking to my oldest son, and I was saying that they made this our reality, but it's more so it's a nightmare to us. What they make is making this type of reality for us, but this thing to us is just a nightmare that we're waiting to come out of. So I just hope that this video will shed some light to white people what we actually live through daily, what we go through daily.
Because this video is the neutralizer. Where Kanye says, "Hey, black folks, y'all, it's a choice. Y'all chose slavery, right?" Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, he showed you what it looked like. He didn't have to say there was a choice. He said, "Do you want this? Do you want this gun in your head? Do you want to be in a church? Your ass can get shot up too, right?" Instead of talking, you want to get chased, you want the police to beat you. Instead of saying there's a choice, he showed you what people are living through.
That brought it back to Dylan Roof. What is it? What's his name? Dylan Roof, the one who came into the church. The guy who came into the white boy who came into the church and shot up the church. I thought about that instantly. And then Rob brought the topic of, oh, well, the church has to die for people to come out of it and to wake up. It goes into so many things. I was thinking Dylan Roof when I seen that. So I think it has like some type of more than what it is. I don't know. We won't know until he actually breaks it down. We can assume, but I thought about Dylan Roof immediately when I seen him shooting up the people where, they was just chilling in the damn church. The white boy come in and they ain't know. They tell all are welcome. Even though they should have patted his ass down or asked him, why are you here? But by then it was over for them. They singing it happily. And I think just him dancing with the kids, and he's doing all the latest dances that the kids do.
He even stops and smokes a joint in the video. My favorite part. Right? So it lets you know, but it lets you know at that point in time, he was in his peace. While there was chaos, he was in the eye. He was in the eye of the storm, and he was enjoying himself through all of this chaos.
But I don't think it was just him enjoying himself. I was thinking that it was more he was entertaining everybody. Like what we're doing now. Black people are always entertaining people. They always want us to entertain. And while we're entertaining through this chaotic world. We're entertaining through the chaos that is in our lives. So I really feel like that was more so like you shucking and jiving, you dancing, you doing all of this. And this is the lives we live as black people. Just like Kobe said, he said, y'all said, shut up and play basketball, or shut up and entertain us. Basically, you can't do anything else. So he's like, I'm going to entertain your ass and show you the truth. So that's more so what I was thinking. It wasn't just,
but the sorcery of all of this is that Kanye is working for the dark. I mean, he's not himself anymore. Whomever is operating inside him is not Kanye. It's a false ego. And so what we saw is pure ego and pure creativity. All right. And so chaos will destroy false light any day. And that's, if you were to look at that experiment, that's what Kanye is showing you. And he's showing you false light and brainwashing that, most, Caucasian white folks, they want us just to say, hey, it was a choice. It wasn't that bad. Y'all came, you lost or whatever, But the thing is that, what Donald Glover did was he put back the humanitarian. He put back the empathy. He put back all of the real feelings so you can make a choice. All right. And as of May 15th,
that's the solution.
As of May 15th, all right, when Uranus enters Taurus, all right, we already have the wounded healer. Chiron is now in Aries, all right, which is about being that whatever part in you that's a warrior that knows how to stand up, all right, that part of you is being called forth, right? Uranus and Taurus, that's really letting you know that the Mother Earth, Uranus is chaotic, nervous type energy, real like fiery type energy, right? So that energy with the land, that means that the earth herself, she's going to kind of come to life, right? And so what's going on is a lot of the men, all right, a lot of the bitch assness, the people who are not fathers, the people who are doing wrong, all right, not but like doing wrong by the earth frequency, because right now the people are dead and the people are not standing up, right? So right now, as of May 15th, you're being prompted to make a choice. You either want to make the choice of freedom and liberation, or you're going to shut up and you're going to work. Right?
And let's not forget about the dark mother, the dark divine energy, the Kali, the mother Sekhmet, the Lilith is out right now. And that's what I call the killers. They're out and they're telling you, they're calling you. Right?
That energy, she's checking the hearts of men. And the men, if you are not willing to stand up by the energy of the land and protect the women and protect and not do your service, all right, you're gonna be taking the hell out of here. You won't be around. That's just what's up.
And that's, I don't want to cut you off, but I that's what I want to talk about is that you see Bill Cosby, he's paying some karmic debt. And now this is the time, if you've done stuff to women, you're gonna have to pay that karmic debt, especially if you're doing something to women and children. It's just your time is up. Yeah, so Bill Cosby may have not done as bad, and he did pay them off, but something is calling these women out in this little Me Too thing. It's very serious, and it's not just Me Too that's going on in Hollywood. The Me Too is calling out all the perverts, all the people who are doing things in the dark that they think they're getting away with, because karmic debt, when you build that up, even if it was from a past life, you got to pay it up now if you haven't been working on clearing your karma. So these dark mothers, this energy is coming in and telling you, hey, you better be right.
And you got to get your shit right. My father, he has a lot of his friends have all had heart attacks, problems with the heart, right? And so this means that judgment, like we're at a point where you're going to start seeing judgments coming out. People are going to start dying. Areas and places that are not vibrating, they will become desolate. I mean, they'll crumble. You'll see earthquakes and things happen in places that normally wouldn't be. And it's because now the Mother Earth, she's ready to judge.
Definitely.
She's ready to judge. So, I wanted to talk about this, that please make the choice of freedom, liberation, and act upon it. Don't just say, I want to be free and then go to work. If your ass is tired, you don't want to go to work no more. If you in a fucked up relationship, he kicking your ass, whatever it is, and you ain't willing to live by the highest standards of freedom, right? Now we're in the climate, right, where the Uranus energy is going to support us in our liberation. So you have to make the necessary steps, and the protection is going to be given. But as of May 15th, the tides are turning. The currents is shifting, right? So you want to be on the other side and not be receiving the paddle when that shit come through.
Exactly, because 2019 ain't gonna be nothing nice, and we just want to wrap this up.
Yep.
We got Baby Love.
We got Baby Love. She calling. She know we talking, so she like wrap it up, wrap it up. All right. So I just want to drop that knowledge and talk about these two videos. These are two I was considered geniuses, but one who's egotistical and then other one who's pure creativity. Right. So just
you got a Libra, you got a Libra and a Gemini. So there's the duality, but Libra knows how to balance that shit out where the twins sometimes be fighting with the Geminis. No,
and that's great. That's
Geminis,
crazy. You brought that up because Kanye's a Gemini, and he's got that dark and that light, and he has a battle within himself. And then you got the scales that comes and balance it out.
And Childish Gambino, I checked out his birthday. He's naturally spiritual, so it's in him. He's connected.
He's born on the 17th. I mean,
no,
16th?
He's on September the 25th, I believe,
yeah, the
1983.
Yeah, he has a 7.
So he has that 7 in there, and then he's he's a Libra, so he knows how to weigh it all out. So
yeah. So all right,
for him.
But I hope that you check this video out. Check out. Look at Kanye and see if you can see the sorcery, the reverse
look at the video.
Psychology.
I would love to hear your thoughts on Childish Gambino's video because I'm not going to leave it up to my own interpretation. I like to pick people's brain. I would love to talk to him and just him break it all down just to see where his head at because I'm a fan of Atlanta because it's just a masterpiece within itself. I just love great minds and when they create. And I'm just seeing that Kanye West, he does a lot of talking, and he's like, nope, I'm an artist. I'm gonna leave the art, and it's gonna speak for itself, and it did.
Yeah, but with this perspective being said, go back and watch it.
Definitely.
See if you can see Donald Glover as that invisible person going about judging. See if you can see him in that position. All right, and then you go back and you listen to Kanye. You see that he's really making a convincing argument. But when you think about this, everybody know that slavery was not a choice. It was something that was done at the very beginning of time that when we defeated people, we humiliated them and we sold their asses, right? I mean, not we, but that's what people did. And so this is just something that we have within each other where we have to get over really humiliating each other and learn to love each other as brothers and sisters. But I'm going to leave with that, and we're going to get back to watching our baby. All right. And hopefully, if there's anything new that comes up that we need to talk about,
we'll talk about it.
We're going to talk about it and definitely try to drop some jewels to you.
Definitely. Peace.
Peace out, y'all.
Thank you for tuning in.